Hello there, I'm Patrick Lloyd and I am the instructor for Chemistry 1100 for winter 2021, section W12 and section W12L. If you want to get in touch with me, there are several different ways in which you can do that. You can call or text at 347-249-5676. I prefer texting. I also have several texting apps that you can reach me at: WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, Instagram, and Snapchat. So you can reach me through any of those. If you prefer to contact me by email, please email me at patrickofkings@protonmail.com. I do have a Kingsborough email address, but I prefer not to use it because I don't check it as often, and it's not as easy to use that on mobile devices. Okay. When you do first text or email me, please write in the text or the email your name, your full name, the Chemistry 1100, and then put in section 12, not section 10. Sorry, let me change that to 12. Okay. So for example, if your name is Rose Pierre, just write Rose Pierre, Chem 1100, section 12. I don't use the Blackboard discussion boards, so that's not a good way to get in touch with me is through Blackboard. Try to do texting, calling, or email. We will have 3 meetings each week, live lectures on Zoom. They'll be at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 9 a.m. for an hour. And they begin the first week of January. So Monday, January 4th, Tuesday, January 5th, and Wednesday, January 6th. If you want to participate in these meetings, the information, my personal meeting ID is 761-534-4943, and the password is MEET, M-E-E-T, without any capital letters. These meetings are optional. You do not receive attendance points. You do not have attendance points taken away if you do not participate. So it's fully at your choice. I will record each meeting and make them available online for you to watch after if you want to do that. In terms of office hours, I don't have any particularly set office hours, but you can get in touch with me and we'll find a time that works to our mutual satisfaction starting Monday, January 4th. So the contact information for that, again on Zoom, is the same personal meeting ID, 761-534-4943, and again the password is MEET. The materials that you'll need for this course, of course, you're going to need a personal computer, a tablet, smartphone, probably all 3 if you have them, that would be good. You will need a modern internet browser such as Safari or Chrome, and you'll need some sort of word processing software like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. A scientific calculator would also be useful. We are going to learn we're going to use, I should say, something called ALEKS, A-L-E-K-S. It's the learning system that's used for this course and the e-book. It includes the textbook, the e-textbook. 95% of the work that gets graded for this course will be submitted through ALEKS, so make sure you get that very quickly. It is available at aleks.com or at the bookstore, and you will need to have it and to be able to succeed in this course. I would recommend getting the 360-day access. That'll allow you to use it for this course, and then if you have to take Chem 1200, the next course in the sequence, you'll be able to use it for that within a year. Price is $85 through aleks.com. If you want to buy it through the bookstore, it's a little higher. They add on a 30% increase. That's their cut of the price. So your choice, whichever you want to do. The textbook is part of the ALEKS system when you purchase it. It's Chemistry 4th edition by Julia Burge. So if you do want to buy a physical copy of the book, through Amazon or textbooks.com. It's Chemistry 4th edition by Julia Burge, published by McGraw-Hill Higher Education. 3rd edition would work as well, but if you don't want to purchase that separately, you can just use the ebook if you're comfortable with that. Just go ahead and get the ALEKS, and that will include the ebook. Okay. It is also the textbook that we use for Chemistry 1200. Instructions for creating a Zoom account are given here. Of course, most of you probably already know how to do that. Instructions for getting ALEKS in the ebook, I'm going to have that in a separate video, but the contact information, the important information that you'll need is the class code. The class code is a 10-digit code of mixed letters and numbers. So for our course, it's AADHF W9AXA. That's the class code that you need. The name of the course should be Chemistry, General Chemistry 1, Winter 2021, section W12. If you desire, you can get a optional financial aid code that works for 2 weeks, but it's not much of a gift. It just takes 2 weeks of free access. If you need, up to 2 weeks to get enough money together to buy the ALEKS, the code, the financial aid access code, is here in the syllabus. It's a very lengthy code system. I think it's 20 digits, so there it is right there. Again, it doesn't give you 2 weeks or anything like that. It just allows you 2 weeks of free trial, and then that gives you 2 weeks to buy the system. Okay. We will use Blackboard, but for very few things. The only thing I'm going to use Blackboard for is announcements. Course announcements will show up on Blackboard. They will be emailed to your Kingsborough email address as well. And there are a few documents that I've put up on Blackboard that you'll need access to. Okay. So for the most part, there won't be very much use of Blackboard. Of course, you will need the ALEKS system for the homework and the exams, so that's important to have. Laboratory reports will be completed on a word processing package, so I recommend Microsoft Word. As a CUNY student, you have free access to Microsoft 360, so I would recommend using Word. Word's a pretty good program. You'll need an email program to email laboratory reports. The lab reports are the only thing that will not be done through ALEKS in terms of grading. They have to be emailed to me, so you need that. And then Zoom, of course, you'll need if you want to do the lectures or office hours. Here's what we're going to learn in the course. We're going to learn several chapters from the textbook by Burge. We're going to start with chapter 3, and then do 4, and then 5, and then 10, and then 6, and then 8, and then 9, and maybe a little bit of 11. Okay? Not much of 11, just a tiny bit. The textbook is set up with a small amount of text, of writing, maybe like a page or two, and then sample problems that you try. So the primary thing you want to do in this course is just do problem after problem after problem, working on problem solving. That can be difficult and challenging, but that's how you're going to be graded, is based on that. So develop as well as you can your problem solving skills. Okay? So you do sample problems, and then there are practice problems, which are labeled A, and then B, and then C. You want to focus on the sample problems and the practice problems A and B for this course. Okay? There are also checkpoints, which are multiple choice questions. You can try those as well. So here's sort of a strategy for this. 1, read the text in the section, for example, section 3.1, read it. 2, try the sample problem yourself. The sample problem is worked out for you in the textbook, but you can try it yourself and see what you get. Then if you do okay with that and you get the right answer and you're comfortable with it, then you move on to the practice problem. Do A and B, and C is optional. And then at the end of the section, you can do the checkpoints and just move on to the next section and do section 1, and then section 2, and then section 3, and then section 4. Okay? Now, there will be lectures, but there's a lot of material that I've posted on YouTube, a lot of videos. So what you can do is you can find my website or find my page on YouTube. If you just do a search, Exploding Chemistry Patrick Lloyd, you'll find it. But there are links to each chapter as well listed right here. So here's a link to chapter 3, all the YouTube videos in there, the YouTube videos in chapter 4, 5, 10, 6, 8, and 9. So all those videos are up there. I will probably continue to add a few, but not very many. Pretty much what I've done is I've done a lecture on each section of those chapters, and I've also done each sample problem, and then a few additional problems as well. So a lot of videos for you to watch, probably more than you'll want to, so you may need to kind of go through those videos and decide which ones are, you think you need to watch as opposed to not need to watch. Okay. In terms of Alex, again, there's a separate video for Alex in terms of getting logged in and all of that kind of stuff. But there are homework assignments that you have to submit, and there are deadlines for them. So each objective, think of the term objective, which is used in Alex, as assignment. It's a homework assignment. So there are several assignments or objectives. Well, the first one is chapter 3, and it has 22 topics. Now think of a topic as a type of homework problem, a type of problem you have to do. Notice that the due date for that is Monday, January 11th at 11:59 p.m. So if you don't submit it by then, you don't get full credit for it. So make sure if you want to get full credit, you complete all 22 topics by Monday, January 11th at 11:59 p.m. That's very soon, right? That's only a week away from the beginning of the course. And the reason for that is that this course is only in 6 weeks. It's a very rapid course. So you're really going to have to work very hard to stay on top of things. A lot of things to do in a very short period of time. So chapter 3, 22 topics, is due at the end of Monday, January 11th. The second chapter is chapter 4, 15 topics, and that one is due Monday, January 18th. Again, you take a look at that. Now, if you don't complete, let's say, for example, chapter 3, you only complete 20 out of the 22 topics, you'll get credit for those 20 topics. You just won't get credit for the 2 topics that you didn't finish. Okay. So it is very quick. We have to finish by middle of February. It's just really, really rapid. So put a lot of time into it, and really don't waste time. Get started on this stuff very quickly. Okay, again, that's all on Alex. Here's some details about Alex. Again, there's due dates. There are also what are called knowledge checks. So occasionally you have to go back and do some problems that you've done before, just to make sure that you still know how to do them. Okay, so that you have to factor in there in terms of your time commitment as well. There will also be exams on Alex. So the exams are shorter than the homework assignments. They're generally around 10 to 12 questions that you have an hour to do. So it is pretty rapid. You have about an hour to do them. The first one, they're already coming online very quickly. The first one comes online January 8th, and it has to be completed by January 15th. So you have a period of time. You can pick the time that works best for you, when maybe you have some quiet time, no one's going to be bothering you, and you need an hour of really quiet time to focus on it. Okay, so the dates are right here as well in which you do that. So once you start the exam, you have to finish it within an hour. So just make sure that you have some times in the winter to get this stuff done. Now, I did open up exams 2 through 6 pretty early. I opened them all up January 10th. So in theory, if you're really chugging along and you're doing well, you can self-pace this course if you want to, and you can finish all of the exams pretty early if you need to do that. That's up to you. Okay. There are also practice exams on Alex. Now, those are not graded. The practice exams are not graded. They're optional. They're just there to help you practice for the regular exam. They are longer than the regular exams. The exams you get graded for are only 10 to 12 questions. The practice exams might be 15 to 20 questions, but that's just to give you more practice. There's no penalty for doing poorly on the practice exams. There's no penalty for not taking the practice exams at all. you're only responsible in terms of exams for taking these 6 exams, 1 through 6. Each one is 1 chapter, and there is no final exam. You don't have a 7th exam that covers all 6 chapters. You only need to take those 6 exams. Okay? Notice there's some notes in here. The ebook is not available when you're taking the exam. Okay? There are also laboratory reports. Now, the section that you're enrolled in is W12, but you're also enrolled in section W12L, which is the laboratory component of the course. Don't check on Blackboard under W12L. I haven't activated it, and I won't activate it. Everything will go through in terms of messaging through W12, the lecture. But if you take a look here, the laboratory comprises 5% of your course grade. There are videos on YouTube that you'll watch. So each experiment, you'll watch a video that's on YouTube, and then you'll also read the instructions for the experiment, and this is the link to those right here. And then you'll, after watching the video and taking notes, you'll then write a report. And so the report needs to follow the following format. You email it to me at patrickofkings@protonmail.com, not to the Kingsborough website, or not to the Kingsborough email address, I should say. The subject line in your email message should have your first name, space, last name, space, and then the name of the experiment. Not the number of the experiment, but the name. So for example, your name might be Daphne Rose Pierre, and then the name of the experiment, calibration of volumetric glassware. That would be in the subject line, and then you'll attach a set of questions that you've answered, and that will be your laboratory report. Okay, so here are the dates, the due dates, names and due dates. The first experiment is called calibration of volumetric glassware, and the due date is Monday, January 11th at midnight. So it has to be done by this time to receive credit. Okay. Second one is copper oxide. These are the numbered videos that you'll watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 13, and 16. Okay. So those are the names of the experiments. This is the YouTube playlist where you can watch a demonstrator, a technician doing the experiment and talking about it. And then this is the link to the reports that you can watch, to the procedures that you can watch. Again, you email those to me. Okay, so there's the names. Last one right here, spectrophotometry, is due February 18th. Course grading. Essentially, it's primarily through ALEX. The homework assignments on ALEX, those were the ones that had the 22 topics and 15 topics from chapters 3 through 10. Those are all together comprise 65% of your course grades. So if you just did the homework and didn't do lab reports and didn't do exams and you got all the homework done, you'd have 65%. But we also have 6 exams. Each one is worth 5% of your course grade. So that adds up to a total of 30%, 65 plus 30, so we're up to 95. And then the lab reports are 5%. So that together is 5%, so that gives you 100%. The breakdown on course grading is this. To get an A, your overall, you have to be between 85 and 100%. To get a B, you have to be between 70 and 84%. To get a C, you have to be between 50 and 69%. Overall, if you're below 50%, then you get an F. You can calculate your percentage using this formula. Just take what your ALEX score is and put that in for the pi. Put in the ALEX score for the objectives, put that in right there. Take your exam average, put that in there. And then take your laboratory average and put that in there. Now, in fact, ALEX will actually calculate your overall ALEX score, so you can just use that as a rough approximation of your number. Okay. And here's some optional homework assignments you can do from the ebook. These are end of chapter problems. They're all odd numbers, so you can try those for extra practice. They are not graded. If you have questions about them or have any need for me to maybe make a video or talk about them in office hours or during the lecture, we certainly can do that. Just let me know. These are optional though. And then here are some resources. Since we are doing all of this distance learning, here's some resources. If you have a learning disability and need help from the college, the Kingsborough Accessibility Services is available. If you have any technical problems with Blackboard, you can use the IT support here. The cheating policy is integrity, academic integrity. Link is right here. If you need support from Alex, here's a link for them. Here's some privacy information and accessibilities information for Alex. Zoom, of course, we're using that, so there's a privacy statement and accessibility process policies that you can look at is there. And then, of course, there are many learning objectives for this course. Okay, so my advice to you at this stage is to get started, create your Alex account. Again, there's another video that I'll put a link up for so that you can go through that in order to create your Alex, and it gives you some information on that one. But get started on Alex, and then if you have questions, get in touch with me. Okay, so I hope you have a great semester, and I look forward to working with you.